That's right. The 4 seed, we had the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons have a 72% chance of making the playoffs as of right now. They played 4 playoff teams so far this season. They played the Steelers, and they took the loss 18-10. They played the Philadelphia Eagles, and they got that dub 22-21. They played the Chiefs the following week. They took that loss 22-17. And the most recent loss to a playoff team, the Denver Broncos, they got their asses whooped 38-6. They are 1-3 versus playoff teams so far this season. If the playoffs were to start today, that's how I figured that out. As of right now, the Atlanta Falcons guys are on a 2-game losing streak. What? They lost to the Saints and they lost to the Broncos. Both on the road. Give them a little bit of credit, but they're still on a 2-game losing streak. They're on a bye this week, but then they play the Chargers at home next week, but then they're at the Vikings, at the Raiders, and Giants in the next 4 games. So far this season, Kirk Cousins has 2,870 yards passing. Bijan Robinson, my fantasy hero right now, 783 yards rushing, and Darnell Mooney is the leading receiver on the Atlanta Falcons at 711 yards. The offense has been pretty dominant for the Atlanta Falcons most of the season. They're currently ranked 7th in the NFL going into Week 12. Ranked 7th is their offense, but their defense, 25th defense in the NFL. Defense is not very good. Worse than the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not sold on the Cardinals because of their defense, and the Falcons defense is worse. It's worse. So, guys, are the Atlanta Falcons contenders or pretenders? And just remember, a contender or pretender is making it the NFC Championship game. Can they represent themselves in the championship game? Guys, the Falcons are pretenders. I do not understand why people were on this Atlanta Falcons bandwagon most of the season. Yes, they beat the Buccaneers twice. I get it. Buccaneers are a pretty good team. But beyond that, they have not beaten anybody. Oh, but they beat the Eagles. Week 2 when the Eagles were a shit show. Eagles sucked week 2. Let's just be honest. Call a spade a spade. The Falcons have not beaten anybody worth the damn all season long besides the Tampa Bay Buccaneers twice. Divisional game, whatever, right? And let's be honest, they should have probably lost those games. Yes, Kirk Cousins had that one 500-yard game on Thursday Night Football versus the Buccaneers, but it's still a one-score game on both of those games when he's balling out. Guys, if you are a true NFL fan, and if you are saying that the Atlanta Falcons are contenders, you've been calling me clowns. What are you smoking? What is this? Nobody is picking the Atlanta Falcons to go to the NFC Championship game. If they were to start today, if the players were to start today, they would be playing the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, it would be a home game, but do you have faith in primetime Kirk Cousins taking on the Minnesota Vikings? He's going to shit in bed just because he's playing his old team. We're going to see it happen in a few weeks, right? He's going to shit his bed. But let's say somehow, some way they get past that. Right? They're the 4 seed. Then they would have to play the Eagles or the Lions. More than likely the Lions. Blowout pending. Guys, the Falcons are pretenders. They are pretenders. See what you guys are saying over here. James Frank says pretenders. Pretenders. John said the Falcons. They're pretenders. One and done. Derek says, do they sit their starters against the Giants? No. The Falcons will not have any time to rest any other starters because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got one of the easiest schedules remaining, and they coming in hot. They're going to have to play all 18 games, or all 17 games going into week 18. Think Love says pretenders. I can see them winning a wild card game at home, though, but beyond that, no. Slow it down, baby. I think you're right. Derek says they're pretending. They're not even a real NFL team. They're just pretending to be here. We are going to Scooby-Doo them, and we're going to take off the mask and be like, oh, shit, it's the FSL Rough Riders or something like that, right? James Frank says if they played the Eagles now, Barkley would rush for 3 tutties, and Love would throw all 3. And Love would throw for 3. Defense would probably have a few takeaways. I think you meant Hurts, right? If the Falcons were to play the Eagles right now, Barkley would probably have 3 tutties. Jalen Hurts would probably throw for 3. And the defense would have a few takeaways. The Eagles defense is playing gnarly. The Eagles defense is them right now. Let's just be honest. Now let's transition over to the AFC side of things. Let's transition